I cannot believe Bill Burr did that.
Massive day for the unemployed. Bill Burr just ended his career.
So I'm one of the biggest hypocrites you're ever gonna fucking meet in your life.
It's Billy Burka.
Yo.
We get rehab money, baby. It's brutal.
Y'all, Bill Burr, what a goddamn disappointment.
All of my comedy of late has been about taking down billionaires and the autocracy, but it's different when they're paying me.
If you're a virtue signaling like Bill Burr, calling out misogyny and America being a slavery state and all that bullshit, and then you go to Saudi Arabia, get fucked.
Welcome, Bill Burr.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Good to be here in Riyadh. It's a good place, and I'm happy to be here on a Monday.
Festival, and he's getting a bunch of hate for it.
They call him old Billy Blood Money.
I'm like, this is embarrassing that you're doing this.
Yeah.
It's disappointing, Bill Burr.
What happened to your edge? Too comfortable doing arenas, living in California? And you're married? What happened to the cool comic you used to be?
It's crazy that his immense disdain for the billionaire class suddenly vanished the second he was offered a truckload of money by a nation that literally engages in modern-day slavery.
And I guess you got your big payday, Bill Burr, so who gives a shit if all your fan base is disappointed in you? You can just retire and wipe your eyes with that Saudi money.
With all this, it's not surprising that the general backlash that we've seen are people calling them sellouts.
Pop the popcorn. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hospital bills for my baby must have been wild because y'all literally killed my dad and now I'm here doing stand-up for you. I'm doing stand-up with Louis C.K. in Saudi Arabia. What?
I mean, what did you expect from me? I just go where the money is and the trans woman ain't. I know all of my comedy of late has been about taking down billionaires and the autocracy, but it's different when they're paying me.
I'm fluffy, so if they bomb me, it won't hurt.
I was on Breaking Bad. Like, what am I doing? You know, Bobby Lee, par for the course. Me? This one kind of hurt.
That guy, that's the guy that killed my dad.
It's all been downhill since the landlord Bill Cosby thing.
The sheikh that put this on has a whole wing of the prison named after him because he put so many people in prison. The only thing I've named after me is a failed vegan burger chain. Oh, but would you be upset if a man was doing this festival? Oh, you are? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely hilarious. Bill Burr is getting destroyed for going to Saudi's comedy festival. Let's watch.
Mark Maron, Shane Gillis, and Zach Woods are slamming this comedy festival in Saudi Arabia that a bunch of their fellow stand-ups are participating in, and we should talk about it. Or because it's called the Riyadh Comedy Festival. It kicked off on Friday. It lasts through October 9th, and it has a massive lineup. You've got Pete Davidson, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, Whitney Cummings, Andrew Schultz, and Flagrant, Kevin Hart, Tom Segura, and the list just goes on and on. And, you know, some have already gone on stage, some they still have sets upcoming, but they're all facing some backlash right now. Because Saudi Arabia, as you hopefully know, for quite a while has been criticized for its human rights abuses, like arresting journalists, exploited labor, executions for crimes like drug offenses, and way more. Like, it's literally about to be the anniversary of when Mohammed Bonesaw is believed to have killed Jamal Khashoggi. And in fact, just earlier this year, the nation's top court there executed a journalist who had been behind bars for over 7 years. And so with all this, last week you had Human Rights Watch issuing a statement arguing that the Saudi government is using the festival, quote, to deflect attention from its brutal repression of free speech and other pervasive human rights violations. And you had them then urging the performers to use their time at the festival to urge Saudi leaders to free unjustly detained journalists and activists so they're not laundering the government's reputation. Right, but also, it's not just activists and nonprofits who are slamming the comedians. I mean, you have tons of other comedians also speaking out. Right? You recently had comedian Mark Maron speaking on this.
The same guy that's going to pay them is the same guy that paid that guy to bonesaw Jamal Khashoggi and put him in a suitcase. But don't let that stop the yucks. It's going to be a good time. Full disclosure, I was not asked to perform at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, so it's kind of easy for me to take the high road on this one.
And actually, this whole thing goes back to July when you had comedian Shane Gillis saying he was offered the chance to perform in Saudi Arabia, but...
I think I'm going to pass.
Yeah. For the troops? Is it for the troops?
Not for the troops. It's for the Saudis.
For the Saudi princes?
Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, you should do it. Everyone's doing it. It's like, for Saudis?
Yeah.
Weren't those the 9/11 guys?
And then Gillis later said that organizers doubled his pay offer, but he refused this significant amount of money so he could take a principled stand.
Kudos to Shane Gillis for not going. At least he has some sense of integrity.
Also, as far as like how much people were actually making for this, you had comedian Tim Dillon previously saying that he was going to do the fest because he was going to get $375,000 for doing one show. Right? And he also claimed that some performers were offered as much as $1.6 million. But then Saudi Arabia apparently fired him from the gig over jokes that he made about forced labor in the country. You know, as all of this is playing out, we've seen some of the performers from the line of defending their choice to go. Pete Davidson recently went on Theo Von's podcast and he said,
I've been getting a little bit of flack just because like my dad died 9/11. So they're like, how could you possibly go there? I just, I get the routing and then I see the number and I go, I'll go.
Right, and so with all this, it's not surprising that the general backlash that we've seen are people calling them sellouts.
Honestly, all of these comedians still going and supporting what Saudi is doing, they are just absolute sellout.
Saudi Arabia.
If they pay me.
I think this comedy event, it's in Saudi Arabia. X-Ray, go find the list of comedians. It's out there somewhere because it's unbelievable. So I just wanted to point out a couple because honestly, if you want to go to Saudi Arabia and do some comedy, I really don't give a shit. But if you're a virtue signaling whore like Bill Burr and or Whitney Cummings, who will go whichever way the wind blows.
Oh, fuck
fucking
that, Vince.
Phony ass. Both Bill Burr and Whitney Cummings have done woke comedy, calling out misogyny and America being a slavery state and all that bullshit. And then you go to Saudi Arabia, get fucked.
These are just a bunch of sellout comedians. Honestly, what are they doing there? I don't understand. It is all for the money, obviously.
People have been going, oh, how dare you go over there after they killed a reporter. That was the big one. There's been a reporter who they killed. One reporter was killed by the government. Unfortunate, but not a fucking hill that I'm going to die on.
We did get an offer to play.
I think I'm going to go.
You're going to go?
Well, I'm only doing 2 days.
Where?
I'm going in and out.
Saudi Arabia.
Just to get that
I would
paycheck.
do that.
Yeah.
Why
I'm
not?
I'm doing it. 2 days.
I wouldn't do gay material there.
Yeah.
At all.
Weird.
Sam and I are both doing gigs in Saudi Arabia, so Sam's days are numbered. So I'll be there, and I will join in with the Saudi people if it means I get out of there alive.
But at the same time, almost no entertainment money comes from a good place.
No.
But,
It's like, do you want to take it from them, or do you want to take it from someone who's probably assaulted, millions of people?
I don't really have strong feelings about the Saudi Arabia Comedy Festival. I do get the fact that they perpetrated 9/11.
I'm not doing it.
That is good. I admire that.
Then they doubled the bag, and I was like,
sorry, just go on Google, Big. Who really did 9/11?
I'm not doing it.
Just be like, okay, fine, never mind.
Yeah.
Bravo.
They doubled the bag, the princes?
It was a significant bag.
What?
Yeah, but I'd already said no. I took a principled stand.
Absolutely amazing. Shane Gillis, one of my favorite comedians out there. He has a lot of integrity, if you ask me.
Yo, it's Billy Burka. Yo, we get Riyadh money, baby. It's brutal.
Alla shiki Luigi Manjo. Hey, I feel Luigi Manjo.
Yo,
we getting Riyadh money.
Yeah.
We getting Riyadh money. I am a cook, I got a shitty black and white.
Yeah.
I am a cook, I got a shitty black and white.
It's brutal.
We getting Riyadh money.
Yo,
we getting Riyadh money.
Now that Riyadh money got them selling they souls. If they wasn't telling jokes, they be selling they hoes. They do anything for dollars, even say a prayer to Allah. Balaclavas on their faces just to pack out a show. Whoa, Chris Stefano, I had to let you know this festival might rest your soul. They colder than the Eskimos. The episodes you drop must not be making no sense. Mr. Ross only going cause there's no age of consent. Guess the roast master general demoted to lieutenant. I'm the lord of this land, I'm evicting these Jew tenants. Who didn't expect Tommy Buns to take the Saudi funds? Probably for a Rolex he don't give the kids a mommy none. No. Aziz needs this.
Wow, absolutely hilarious. What a great song. I love it.
Massive day for the unemployed. Bill Burr just ended his career. There was a comedy show in Saudi Arabia and Bill Burr was on the roster. Nobody cared about 98% of the comedians, but Bill Burr is different because Bill Burr is virtue signaling 24/7 about billionaires and then bends his back and works for trillionaires.
Can you fucking believe that? How much fucking money do you need to make? You're gonna take a gig where you're gonna go dance like a goddamn fucking clown for a mass murderer's kids?
Bill Burr keeps hyping up Luigi Mangione for supposedly sticking it to the rich people, but when legitimately evil rich people dangled money in front of him, he was happy to be their dancing monkey. And to make matters worse, bro doubled down.
Comedian Bill Burr taking to his podcast to defend his performance at a Saudi Arabian comedy festival in the Middle East last week.
just like us, to like, you can talk about anything, you know, other than a couple things, which was basically, you know, religion, don't make fun of the royals. Everyone was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled. It was a mind-blowing experience. Definitely top 3 experiences I've ever had. And it was great to experience that part of the world.
Oh my gosh, absolutely insane that he said that. What an hypocrite.
Oriel says, I'm not shocked about most comics going over there, but Bill Burr broke my heart. I'm so glad somebody fucking asked about this. There's another one too. Hang on. Alex said, LT, did you see David Cross's comments on the comedians going to Saudi? Mark Maron and David Cross killing it. Would you ever do an interview with either of them on Substack? Maybe with W. Kamau? Yeah, of course I would. I would love to talk to David Cross. I would love to talk to Mark Maron. I'm sure I'm going to sit down with W. Kamau before too long. I cannot believe Bill Burr did that. And more to the point, came back and defended it. And this fucking idiot comes back and was like, yeah, I thought it was going to be like Death to America. Everyone was real friendly. Yeah, dude, we're not complaining about the normal people there. Like, the complaint isn't that the average Saudi is some bad person. That's not that. I mean, certainly not my complaint, and I don't know if anyone else's complaint. The argument is, here is a dictatorial religious monarchy that murders journalists, that has, beyond that, just an insanely horrible human rights record, just engaged in, by the way, its own little, I don't know if it qualifies by scholarship as a genocide, but a vast mass murder campaign of the people of Yemen. And again, you're not flying to Saudi Arabia because like Yuck Yuck's Comedy Club in Riyadh hired you. It's the royal family paying you. And then in the contracts, it stipulates you can't talk about them.
Bill Burr has completely gone woke. He's unsavable.
About Bill Burr going to Saudi Arabia, to Riyadh in the comedy festival, and he's getting a bunch of hate for it.
They call him Old Billy Blood Money.
They're really focusing on him too. Like a lot
he's the biggest. Rightfully so, because he's not the biggest, but he is
bigger.
Kevin Hart. But
no, people don't like hypocrites.
People don't like hypocrites because
exactly
Bill is on record making fun of giving Beyonce and other people shit for going and performing for Gaddafi's kids, and he even said, he was like, "You're gonna go there and dance for those people that shot down that airliner full of Americans," and it's like, I mean, like the Saudis did. You're gonna go there, those people with those human rights abuses. The Saudis have slaves. They punish dissenters in terrorist courts.
Well, women are allowed to drive there now since last year.
the women have only been allowed to drive for
on their roads.
years there.
It's been 8 years since they murdered a reporter.
Oh my gosh, this is absolutely insane that all of these comedians would go there. This blows my mind completely. I don't understand. Why would you do this?
Welcome, Bill Burr. All right, what's going on, everybody? Good to be here in Riyadh. It's a good place, and I'm happy to be here on a Monday. Please welcome Sebastian Maniscalco. All right, let me get your take on this. Crown Prince. Love the hairdo. It's my favorite song, right? I'm always jamming out to that in the States, right? Gentlemen and gentlemen, Mark Norman. Hey, all right, we're really doing it, folks. Comedy. So yeah, I was getting head the other day. Crap. I've been Kevin Hart, all right.
Up next is Kevin Hart.
Shit. I'm going, no, Saudi Arabia, they're the free people, right? You know, they're like patriots, you know? I can't believe I gotta come out here to say what I think, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna do my regular set, except I'm not gonna talk about religion, men, women, children, the weather, food, or anything else happening on planet Earth, right? But other than that, they're like, you can do what you want, which is awesome.
Saudi Arabia is not a defender of free speech at all, and why would these comedians go there? This makes completely no sense to me.
There's a line of like people who have so much money that I'm like, this is embarrassing that you're doing this.
Yeah.
It's disappointing, Bill Burr. This is the most disappointing thing Louis C.K. has ever done.
I totally agree. It is completely insane, completely disappointing, completely disgusting. I don't get it.
Human Rights Watch has been begging the comedians not to participate in the whitewashing of the horrors that are ongoing in Saudi Arabia.
I'm not going to tell you how much they're paying me. It doesn't matter. Paying me $375,000. They're paying me enough money to look the other way. I will sleep through the screams. Sleep through the scream.
And he just got fired from the festival. Look at that.
So Bill Burr, the guy constantly ranting about billionaires, went from shouting "Free Luigi," "Free Luigi," and saying the ultra wealthy need to be put down like rabid dogs, to helping the royal family carry out Saudi Vision 2030, a government program meant to diversify their economy and lower their dependence on oil by turning the country into the prime entertainment destination on the planet. It's real easy to pander to the working class after you finish flying one of your 3 helicopters by pointing the finger at the tiny fraction of people more wealthy than you are. But it's hard to stand on your convictions when a royal prince with endless blood money hands you a blank check and tells you to name your price. It's crazy that his immense disdain for the billionaire class suddenly vanished the second he was offered a truckload of money by a nation that literally engages in modern-day slavery. This isn't an isolated instance either. He's also performed for the royal family in Abu Dhabi, willingly censored his own act, met with His Excellency afterwards, and described him as a wonderful person.
Absolutely insane what he did. Bill Burr just destroyed his career completely.
Dude, you're doing a festival for the Saudis. Yeah? So what? Yeah, what do you mean, so what? They help with 9/11, and you're doing comedy there? You know who also helped with 9/11? George Bush. I still did stand-up in America. Oh, go fuck yourself. Yeah, I don't see you bitching about the money we made with the other scumbags like Viacom. How about Comedy Central? Netflix? Yeah, real noble executives cutting checks there. Yeah, you don't think this is a little different than that? Oh, and by the way, saw some of your political takes recently. Dude, it was brutal. The material, too. What happened to your edge? Too comfortable doing arenas, living in California? And you're married? What happened to the cool comic you used to be? You sound like an old man. You took on the entire city of Philadelphia and won. Now look at you. Yeah, dude. Look at me. I'm not cool anymore. I'm a 57-year-old man. This is what happens to everyone. Yeah, I did that nightmare gig in Philly, and I worked like a fucking animal to not have to do shit like that anymore. I sound like an old man because guess what? I'm an old fucking man. Yeah, my political takes aren't scathing, well-informed dissertations, and my material doesn't sound like I'm a young, hungry comic anymore. I settled down with a broad, and I dropped the whole I hate marriage shit because my priorities shifted. I care more about my wife and my kids more than I care about what the fuck people think of me online, or what the table at the cellar has to say. A lot of people are gonna tell me to go fuck myself and move on, as they should. Listen, I might be different now, but the thing that hasn't changed is I'm kind of an asshole hypocrite, just like most people. That's why fans like me in the first place, because they can relate to how imperfect I am. Yeah, dude, I'm guilty. I took the fucking bag from those scumbags. I'm an old married guy in therapy that still doesn't read, and yes, I wore a pink sweater on late night.
Oh my gosh, what happened to Bill Burr? What a sad story.
There's a comedy festival in Saudi Arabia. Like that all by itself is pretty funny. Okay, so they're paying a lot of money and they invited a lot of comedians. A bunch of comedians said yes. I don't think they thought it through. Here comes the fallout. Here comes the blowback. And all these comedians who said yes to the gig and yes to the money, they gotta spin it now. They gotta spin it. Pop the popcorn. Let's go.
Let's go! Huge backlash on all of these comedians just destroyed their own career. Crazy. They are probably done.
I was so beyond this whole Bill Burr thing till he came out recently and gave his thoughts about the Riyadh Comedy Festival that he got invited to and paid handsomely. Now, I'm not against people getting that bag, getting that money. Do what you want to do to grind in this world. The problem here is that Bill Burr has espoused himself for years to be Mr. Righteous, standing up against the billionaires, saying things like, you know, why does the owner of the $1 billion corporation got to make $1 billion? Why doesn't he just make $900 million and give his people a livable wage and give them dental insurance, healthcare, et cetera, et cetera? Spoke up against corporate greed, spoke up against this and that, and yet...
Look at Bill Burr, just look at what he did. This guy is done. It's over for him. Career destroyed.
Hey, I wanted to mention that I had a question about Bill Burr. I asked, like, hey, is he going to, like, Saudi Arabia? And the answer came back as yes. So he's going to Saudi Arabia, really? All right, well, I just want to say, like, as a fellow New Englander, I would hope that maybe you'd make a better choice there, bud, because, like, not a great look. And even though you might get lots and lots of money, that money is going to be, like, you're going to be just another one of those people that you make fun of, which are the billionaire, millionaire folks who are miserable, have no friends, but have a lot of money and don't, like, do anything because, you know, they're prisoners in their own world. It just seems like a bad choice.
Absolute sellout they are. I don't understand why would you do that and ruin your own career just for the money. Crazy time we live in.
They don't transfer. Bill Burr don't have no fucking heroes, y'all. Bill Burr, what a goddamn disappointment. Anyway, he out here defending him going and doing this little comedy act for the Saudi royalty butchers who killed Khashoggi. He's all like, they're just like us. All those Middle Eastern people are just like us. Only, you know what, Bill? Saudi royalty, not very much like me, to be honest with you. I ain't got much in common with those sacks of shit. Anyway, it was like, it was great to experience that part of the war and the part of the world, and to be part of the first comedy festival over there in Saudi Arabia. The royals love the show. I bet they did. They buying up all of America. They'll get you guys to step and fetch it and dance for them like the fucking dumbass monkeys you are. And I guess you got your big payday, Bill Burr. So who gives a shit if all your fan base is disappointed in you? You can just retire and wipe your eyes with that Saudi money. Whatever. So depressing.
Absolutely depressing, absolutely horrible, absolutely disgusting what he did. People are completely disappointed, and for good reason. Honestly, it doesn't matter how much money you make, but how you make your money. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and click right there to watch the next one. Bye bye.